Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about diglossia. Diglossia is a feature, you could say, of some languages, and it's quite a rare feature. Not all languages have it, like hardly any really. Uh, a true diglossia. And what a diglossia is where the the written language is significantly different from the spoken language. And what tends to happen is that the spoken language is it's still a variant of the written language. In some cases, it can be almost like a different language. And what the linguists normally categorize this into is the high language and the low language. So the high language being the language that is written, and the low language being the language that is spoken. So let's start with the high language. In terms of Arabic, that's Fusha. So Arabic Fusha, or the modern standard Arabic, it's standardized. It's modern standard Arabic. So it's got rules. It's got dictionaries. It's written, like all the books are written in modern standard Arabic or Fusha, whatever you want to call it. It's what they speak with in formal situations, like if like a king's giving a speech, or in like the government settings, or even on the news and stuff like that. Because obviously it's a standardized Arabic, so the majority of the Arabs around the Arab world can understand it. So they'll speak it on something like the news, so that it makes it easier for everyone to understand. And then you have the local dialects, which would be considered the low language, where they're not standardized. They're not really written. Obviously these days in like texts and social media and stuff, but you won't really find books written in dialects unless they're specifically for learning that dialect. It's like a graded reader or something. But normal books that like Arabs would read are going to be in modern standard Arabic or Fusha. So the dialect is not written in that sense, in the same sense as Fusha. It's not standardized. There's no kind of standard spelling for stuff. If they do like write it in text and stuff like that, or social media. There's no dictionaries. It's not taught in schools. It's and it can be vastly different from classical Arabic, from modern standard Arabic, Fusha, all these, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing really. Um, to the point that if you were to only learn Fusha and then hear a dialect, it'd sound like a different language. You'd probably be able to tell it's like Arabic related, but you wouldn't catch hardly anything. And they do differ as well. Like some are easier than others. Like if you hear the Saudi dialect, or the even the Shami dialect, like around even like Jordan and Palestine and Syria and stuff, they're a bit easier. The further you go away, like Egypt, I find Egyptian a bit harder than I would say like Jordanian and Saudi. Um, but apparently it's the most understood dialect across the Arab world, obviously because of their films and their series and their like comedy and stuff like that. So from what I know, like most of the Arabs have no problem with understanding Egyptian. Um, but for me, like not being exposed to that a lot, like growing up and stuff, like the rest, like Arabs would have been. Um, I find Egyptian a bit harder than like Jordanian, Syrian, and Saudi kind of thing. Then the further away you go from that, when you start to go over to the west, like Tunisia and Algeria and Morocco, it's even harder. Like I'm currently living in Morocco, and guys, let me tell you, it's like a different language. It's like a different language. Sometimes, I'll hear them talking to each other, and I've literally not understood one single word they've just said. So subhanallah. It can be really, really, really different. But their books are in Fusha, oh well, French here as well. So the problem is, right, if you're wanting to speak Arabic, first of all, let's start with, do you even want to speak Arabic? Do you even want to speak Arabic? For the majority of people in the West, really, there's not really a need, I would say. And that's coming from an Arabic teacher. I teach Arabic. I love Arabic. I love Arabic in all its forms. Classical Arabic, dialects, different Arabic like scripts and stuff. I love Arabic, alhamdulillah. But coming from the West, uh, if I like compare my life like to the from when I lived in the UK and now when I live in Morocco, in the UK you don't really need to speak Arabic, do you? Really, like it's not in your daily life. Um, Maybe if you have lessons with like a online teacher, in like an Arabic speaking country, yeah. But again, like the topic and the vocabulary and stuff will be like quite limited. So it's not like you have to speak fluently. Um, so you're really for the majority of people, your goal really, or the main thing you need is to understand. You need to know. You need to be able to listen to Fusha and read Fusha. You just need to be able to comprehend the language. You don't really need output like the majority of people. That's like level like one of people, right? Then you've got like the next step up where someone really does have a passion for the language, and alhamdulillah, join the club. I do too. So, and those people might want to speak Fusha. Fair enough. If you want to then learn Fusha, as in not just comprehend it but to speak it as well, then you're gonna run into problems with the fact that nobody speaks Fusha. So, like, there's no country on earth where they actually speak Fusha in their day to day lives, and and some as well. Like here, when I first when I first got to Morocco, I could only speak Fusha. I'm trying to like learn the Moroccan dialect now. To kind of function here. But I could only speak Fusha, and people would like find it so weird. They'd find it so strange, and some of the children and stuff, if they heard me speaking in the shops and stuff, they'd like chuckle and they'd like laugh to themselves and stuff, and they're like friends. And yeah, because it's really strange to them. It's like I don't know, someone walking around the UK speaking like a Shakespearean poet. You know what I mean? It's weird. They only hear it on like the news and they like read it, right? Because obviously their written language is Fusha, but they never ever speak with it. It was only in very very selected like rare situations. So if you do want to learn Fusha to be able to speak it, you're gonna have problems in that regard because nobody speaks it. Um, and again, like, why do you want to speak it? I don't know. Like, why? Like, what's your goals behind wanting to be able to speak fluent Fusha? Um, I don't know. Do you want to be a news presenter or do you want to? I don't know. Like, I don't know what kind of situation you would be in where you would need to really really speak good Fusha. Um, But to be honest, the more that you understand it as well, and the more that you read it and you listen to it and you like spend time with it, it's gonna start coming anyway. Like you are gonna be able to like speak it like better and better like over time, even without putting in like the active practice. But obviously, if you want to get better at speaking, there will come a point where you actually have to like try work on that skill because it's a separate skill to listening and reading and stuff. Um. So yeah, you're gonna fall into problems with that one. You could say, yeah, but I want to be able to speak it so I can speak to the scholars and stuff like that, and in those kind of like knowledge based settings where you're in like some kind of lesson and you're speaking in like proper Arabic. But again, I mean, you don't have to be able to be fluent to function in those situations. I wouldn't say you only need to know like set like specific vocab. Okay, then you've got the level after that, right? The level after that is those that want to be able to speak with Arabs. So they want to function like an Arab, right? So we said before, in the second level of people who want to speak Fusha, cool, you want to speak Fusha, it's a beautiful language, obviously, we all love Fusha, but you're going to have trouble because nobody speaks it, right? And if you try to speak it to Arabs, it's going to be like, they'll probably be nice about it, especially if it's like, I don't know, in certain settings, and they will like kind of entertain the fact that you're speaking Fusha, and they will try to speak it back to you. And some of them can speak really good Fusha as well, but not all of them. But if you're in like their world, like I am here, it's like it's kind of just socially like not acceptable. If you know what I mean, it's socially unacceptable. If you want to call it that, you're just weird. You're just like an outcast. So you kind of you are forced to, you know, learn the dialect. So if you want to learn to speak to Arabs, or you want to learn a dialect to speak to Arabs, then you're gonna fall into another problem, right? You're gonna fall into the problem that their dialect is not written. It's not a written dialect. So the resources are gonna be hard to come by depending on the dialect. The most resources for a particular dialect are for Egyptian dialects, I would say, the ones that I've seen. Then down from that, I would say like Shami Arabic, whether it's like Jordanian, Palestinian, Syrian, Lebanese. I say more for Lebanese to be honest. Um, then after that, it's not great to be honest. You've probably got Egyptian and Shami, what do they call it in English, like Levantine, Levantine, something like that. Those two. Then after that, Saudi's really hard to come by. Moroccan Arabic's hard to come by. Um, and again, right, if you're at this level now, you're like, okay, cool. I want to learn Fusha, obviously, because Fusha is the priority for us as Muslims, right? We want to learn Fusha for our religion. But then we want to like speak the language because Arabic comes in two parts, right? This is what the diglossia is. It's written and it's spoken. So the written language is your Fusha. The spoken language is going to be the dialect. So if you want to be like an all-rounded, like almost like a native speaker, then you're going to have both parts. You're going to have be able to read in Arabic, Fusha, and you have to speak in Arabic, dialect. Okay, but then which dialect? If you want to be able to speak to Arabs, why do you want to speak to Arabs as well? Like, if you're going to go live in a certain country, cool. I mean, yes, obviously. Take it from me. You are going to need it, wherever you live. If you're going to need, literally wherever. If you're going to go move to Syria, you should learn the Syrian dialect. If you're going to move to Morocco, learn the Moroccan dialect. But if you're going to stay in the West, and you just want to kind of chat to like Arabs online or whatever, then I mean, yes, that's the hobby then, isn't it? You know what I mean? You can spend your time kind of on the side, like dabbling in like a dialect. But again, like I think the point of this video is that we in the West you haven't got a great need to speak Arabic, to be honest. You just need to understand it. I mean, unless you're going to teach as well. Unless you want to teach Arabic, then yeah. Like teach in Arabic and stuff like that. Fair enough, but I don't know, guys. Dialects is just Arabic in general with the diglossia. It creates a massive problem for us. What else can we say about it? Yeah, so even writing, which some people kind of are not aware of. The printing books, like in printed Arabic books, that script's called Naskh, I think. Naskh. And the Arabs don't write in that script, in their like handwriting, their day-to-day writing. They write in more like Ruka', which I can't explain it to you, to be honest. Like, for someone who doesn't know it, it's really hard to read. You're just kind of lost. Yeah, so I mean, if you want to get to like the highest levels of Arabic in terms of like a full, like well-rounded, almost like a native, right? You're gonna need literally 2 languages and 2 scripts. You're gonna need to know Arabic Fusha, like the modern standard Arabic. You're gonna need to know a dialect to be able to speak with. You're gonna have to know the Naskh, the like normal script, that books are written in, to be able to read that. And you're gonna have to know Ruka' or some form of like other script that they like write in, to be able to read their handwriting. Obviously there's priorities and there's levels to this, like how often are you going to see someone's handwriting to be able to read it and stuff like that, But I'm on about for the people that really have that like desire and they really like, they want to like kind of push it. But and you got to think with like the dialects and stuff, what kind of resources are you going to use in terms of listening as well, Yeah. It's hard, guys. But for you people that, like, I don't know, you just, If you just want to learn Arabic to understand your religion, then this video is like kind of pointless for you, to be honest. You can be happy, just carry on with your life, learning Fusha, ignore that there's dialects, ignore that there's different scripts, and just don't be frustrated. So think of your priorities, guys. Think of your priorities and your reasons for doing stuff. Like I said, if you're in the West and you're planning on staying in the West, speaking's probably not that much of a big deal. So spend your time just learning to comprehend the language, which is what you should do anyway. Even if you want to speak, you should spend like the majority of your like learning on reading and listening, on comprehending the language. Because how can you speak with something that you don't comprehend, right? Anyway, guys, I feel like I've been rambling in this video. I was actually going to film a different video. I wanted to show you how I'm like learning vocabulary these days. How I'm like sentence mining and how I'm doing the monolingual transition and stuff like that. But for some reason the internet's gone out. So yeah, ended up just doing this video off the cuff. Anyway, hope you found it kind of informational. I know it was a bit of a kind of a bit of a ramble, but for you guys that actually like the language and you've got a passion for the language, hopefully there was some kind of benefit you got out of there and some insight into the Arabic language and you know, the whole issue of the Diglossia. Inshallah. Right guys, see you next one. See you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.